Good evening, parents. My name is Mr. Daly. I teach AP Physics 1 at Eastlake High School. I'm your student's physics teacher this year, and I'm excited to have them. We've gotten off to a fast start. We've done a few labs already, done some activities already, a few grades in the grade book already, so we're off to a fast start. Quick outline of the class, the grade breakdown. Approximately 40% of their grade is encompassed with summative assignments, so these would be unit tests and quizzes and lab practicums or lab tests. About 60% of their grade is called informative assessment, so that would be labs, assignments, bell work, quizzes, homework, online activities, and whatnot. So they have much more of a grade weight on the learning process and the steps that they're taking to learn the material as opposed to the actual final result, which kind of gives them a little bit of a cushion so that the focus is more on the effort of not being afraid to get things wrong and knowing that corrections can be done and grades can be fixed through that matter. AP Physics 1 is an algebra-based course. They don't require calculus, but it is the equivalent to a first semester college course in an algebra-based physics class at any state college or university. Because this course does qualify for lab credit as well as lecture credit, we must do about 25% of course time to include lab activities. So we are constantly doing hands-on activities, and they're going to be doing a lot of group-based labs. And the beautiful thing with this is that they can use their own personal technology. Those lovely devices they have in their pockets are excellent slow motion cameras and timers that they are able to use to help with the lab process, and they're encouraged to do that as long as they're staying on task. I also have a classroom full of computers, but if they prefer to use their own device to do web-based activities or assignments that we have in the class, they are more than welcome to do that. Some of the things we've been working on so far, we did a tennis ball lab where they were coming up with the relationship of the drop height to the bounce height. And tomorrow they're going to be dropping Barbies off of the second floor breezeway attached to rubber bands to give Barbie and Ken a bungee jumping experience. Their goal there was to derive an equation that would tell them the number of rubber bands they need based on how high they are above the ground, so that Barbie would get as close to the ground as possible without needing to go to the hospital with a brain injury because they hit their head on the ground. So they're excited about this. Hopefully they've been working diligently on their labs. They've gotten some of their numbers. Hopefully they're working on that tonight, and they're coming with that ready tomorrow. Some information on the exam. The AP Physics 1 exam is scheduled for noon Thursday, May 12th, 2022. Again, they can receive college credit if they score a 3, 4, or 5 on this exam. Depending on the college or university, they qualify for course credit in a physics class, an algebra-based equivalent, or a science credit for a general science course, depending on how stringent they are or how high of a score your student receives. If you want more information about that or any other AP information, you can visit apcentral.collegeboard.org. Some resources I recommend. While they have a digital textbook link available to them, they also have a physical book available to check out if they would like. I don't send them home because they're really big and really heavy, and honestly, I kind of cherry pick what I need out of the book and formulate my own notes. So they have precisely what they need and not everything that would be included in a college textbook, because a lot of it's pretty extraneous. It's recommended that they get a practice book maybe halfway through the year. It will aid them in becoming accustomed to the exam format. And there's a book called 5 Steps to a 5 by Greg Jacobs. There's a standard version and an elite version. The elite version just has more practice tests at the end. So if your student feels like that is a resource that will be useful for them, feel free to check those out. I have a couple of old copies. If your student's not sure, they can look at mine and see if it's something they want to look for. Last but not least, our class does have some consumable materials. We use a lot of masking tape. We use a lot of measuring tapes and string and fishing line and all that kind of stuff. So some of those things would be it would be helpful if they could be replenished. So we're always looking for donations as a class and as a science department. I have a personal class wish list for some things I'd like to spruce up the classroom. That might just be out of my ability range at this time. But if you would like to help with that, or if you would like to adopt the class as a whole, and those materials would be strictly for lab materials or things that we use in the classroom directly towards your students' education and class time. So if you're willing and able to help, I would greatly appreciate it. If not, that's all right too. I appreciate all the support that you give and helping me keeping your student on task. They're great kids. I'm excited to have them. They're excited to learn. They come in happy every day, and it's been a great time with them so far. So I want to thank you for taking your time, for attending. If you have any questions, again, please email me at dailyb@pcsb.org. Again, I apologize for this format instead of a live format. I much would have rather met all of you in person, but the times we're in, it is what it is. So thank you for your time, and I hope you have a great evening.